Peace and much love and welcome to the Temple of Hip Hop. I am Minister Sun One here looking crazy and all. You know what it is. Welcome back to another Sunday of teachings. This week we will be continuing our teachings of the Divine Performance. Myself along with our teacher KRS-ONE. Actually, you know what? I'll bring our teacher on real quick. Let's see what it do.
Yes, sir.
Peace to God.
You talk about a crazy hair day. My hair is all crazy right now. I'm getting mine pretty much done when we finish this. But
you over here looking fly. You made me change my shirt. I had to put on the KRS exclusive.
Oh,
you don't know about that one. You don't know about that. That's straight from the archive.
Wait a minute, hold on. Why does I have a shadow here? Why do I have a shadow? All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna live with the shadow. For those who study metaphysics, there's something here. I might be in the way of something. Something might be in my circumferences thing here. All right. You know what? I'll just deal with it until some more people come through here. All right, so yeah, man, this is another week, another fascinating week. I don't have many updates to go into other than the fact that we were meeting with Leroy McCarthy, and from that we started rewriting the SR 331 document, the resolution that Chuck Schumer and everyone else, pushed forward in the Senate. We've been asked to rewrite it because it is it's incorrect. So a lot of the wording is incorrect, even though it has gone into state law. The wording is incorrect, and because again, they didn't consult true hip hop cultural specialists. They didn't come to anybody. They just felt, out of their own selves that this is what they wanted to do. And so now this is in the law, but it states like for instance, just while I'm on this, SR 331 states that Hip Hop Celebration Day is August 11th, 2021. That's in the law. So that means and Hip Hop Recognition Month, which is August now, is August 2021. They put the year on this thing. They put the year on it. So I immediately brought up to Leroy, Mr. McCarthy, that that if you put the year on it, it only means that this is a law for one day. And there's no, so from here forward or henceforth or any of that language is not in the document. And then they put the year 2021 in it. So really August 11th, 2021 is Hip Hop Celebration Day, and it's only one day and it passed. August is Hip Hop Recognition Month. It's 1 month and it was in 2021 and it passed.
That's right.
So technically, hip hop is not recognized by the Senate hereafter. Now, I hope that people saw that. I mean, those that write resolutions, you didn't see that 2021 was in there, which makes it only that day. I don't know.
Well, Leroy also stated that he had in there henceforth, and they took it out. So that poses even more of an issue as to they know how resolutions are made.
Right.
What was your reasoning for taking it out?
Right.
Making sure that it just said the 2021.
And see, this is the piece. This is the piece right here that which is why you have to be a cultural specialist. Hold on, I see something sticking out of my head here. Yeah, this piece right here. This is why it's important to be a hip hop cultural specialist, to be able to see these things nuts. To be able to actually see these things and then go ahead and go about correcting them. These guys just rush their situation through, and then on top of that, on top of rushing the situation through, they got it wrong. Mm-hmm. On top of that, now you're getting it wrong, and okay, so whatever. I can go on a rant with this for days, but this is just the first part of the update. And so now SR 331, if you hear about this document or so on, it's really only one day. And it's really only 1 month as it is written. So this makes us even question. I mean, we're in the process of dealing with Leroy McCarthy now. Matter of fact, by tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to send him over some of my revisions to the document itself. Now, it's already on the books. So this would be an amendment to what's already on the books. And so let's see if that transpires. Let's see if that even happens. If it doesn't, then so what? It came, it went, that's the end of it. But we as a temple would still look at the significance of August 11th and August. We're still looking at especially August 11th. We're still looking at the significance of that date because it is the recognized birth date of hip hop. So we are still looking at that. We don't need a Senate or these people to tell us how to celebrate our culture. We can still go forward now that this had some bubble in it, and especially like the city of Newark, for instance, may want to do a New Jersey state law that is correct, and do it like that. Virginia may want to do a Virginia state law for hip hop, and make it correct. We will make the language and present it to these other states, not just New York State. They got it wrong at the beginning. They got it wrong. Now the other states could look at that and get it right. And of course, the Temple of Hip Hop is the lead in that situation. So we're going to be talking today from the Gospel of Hip Hop. And sure enough, what are we talking about today? We're talking about patience. Jesus Christ up in heaven. Woo! Do you have to have patience these days? And so, Son One, if you don't have any opening remarks before we begin, turn your Gospels to page 165. Do you have any opening remarks before we begin?
No, there it is. There it is. I'm good.
So for those that are just tuning in, of course, this is the Temple of Hip Hop. The Temple of Hip Hop is a hip hop preservation society. I should say a hip hop preservation ministry, archive, school, and society. We began in 1996 when KRS-ONE, yours truly, realized that he was hip hop. And once he realized that he was hip hop for him became his lifestyle and his culture. We then went out to form philosophies and lifestyles and codes of conduct based on the realization that hip hop is our culture. Hip hop is the name of our group in world history. Now that we exist, we will never not exist. That means we are the first of a new civilization, not just a music genre, but a new civilization, a new culture, a new community, a new raceless community, a multi-race, multi-ethnic, multicultural, multi-religious community. And I use those words lightly, multi, because hip hop is not even really a multi-religious or a multi-racial or a multi-ethnic. We are really above these concepts of race, ethnicity, separate cultures, separate religions. We've risen above that. We're starting something brand new. And not that we disrespect other cultures. In fact, make sure when you're studying with hip hop that you respect your mother's culture. You respect your father's traditions. That's brought into what we're doing. But we are starting something brand new. And it's called hip hop. And it's hip hop beyond entertainment. And so we've been at this really since 1989. We started with the Stop the Violence movement. Really, we started with Boogie Down Productions, but the grassroots organizing began with the Stop the Violence movement in 1989. We then went on to influence All in the Same Gang, the West Coast version of the song we did, Stop the Violence, Self-Destruction. West Coast did All in the Same Gang as well. We did our work over there. 1990 did that. 1991 we was Human Education Against Lies. HEAL, the HEAL organization. We warned about civilization. We warned about technology overtaking civilization. This was at the birth of the internet. When the internet was first starting to come to light, we warned people about putting your soul into technology. No, you're a human being. Before you were a race, a religion, or an occupation, you're a human being. Act accordingly. So this was our campaign back in 91. Of course, then we went on to establish Hip Hop Appreciation Week every third week in May. We did the first hip hop cultural conferences, 1994, 5, and 6, and so on. And then finally, May 16, 2001, we announced hip hop as an international culture of peace and prosperity at the United Nations. This ceremony produced the document, the Hip Hop Declaration of Peace. And that is the governing document that governs our conduct as a nation. We're going to flush that out even more as we go further down the line, even probably add some of these state laws to the Hip Hop Declaration of Peace as we go down the line in time and flush it out a little more, and so on. So this is the temple of hip hop.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
If I could just read a couple of paragraphs real quick. God opened my gospel to this on page 309, paragraph 142.
Let's turn our books to page 309. Hold up. Let's quickly do that and put yourself center screen. And let's hear what you got to say right now.
Here we approach hip hop as the subject that we put our faith into because we know this subject to be true. In our time, and possibly in yours, we have learned that the history that we are taught as the facts and as the truth about ourselves cannot be trusted. In my time, all American history is inaccurate and incomplete, especially when it comes to us and our experiences in the United States. Therefore, to regain and know of the truth about ourselves, we must be ourselves and not our education, even if this means starting our history over again from today, or rather continuing our history from what we know to be true. We must at some point begin the recreation of ourselves and our civilization through the accurate documentation of our past, present, and future activities in the world. We must tell our own story to our own children. We must seriously begin to believe in ourselves and the historical documentation that we are inspired to create for ourselves. We must stop saying that we have lost our history, culture, and heritage and begin proclaiming the rebirth of our divinity and establishment of a new history, culture, and heritage. Let us not see our ignorance or loss of accurate historical data, resources, land, etc., as a handicap, but rather as an opportunity to be truly born again. In fact, whoever we were as a people led to our enslavement and present state of oppression. However, we can recreate ourselves. This is what hip hop is all about. And God brought that up because that's what's happening right now. Or it's literally our history is being inaccurately put forth, and the Temple of Hip Hop is here to correct it, really, or to be those that point it out before it gets its jump off, to remain as the only history that we have to look for. Um, when our kids and our children search for their heritage, no, we take, just like teacher said, we'll take what they put and put it in our own, but accurately, because they are not going to accurately portray us, it seems, ever. So, well, so this is just, I couldn't believe that. I was like, wait a minute, all American history is inaccurate and incomplete. What is this saying?
Mm.
At such an important time when this is literally, and without us, or what really must be pointed out is that without us, this would not be pointed out. The ceremonies would take place. Unfortunately, our pioneers would just take resolution, take picture, and it would be history and done forever, without those who actually care to step in and say, wait, you're being taken advantage of again. Hold on. Again, let's get it right. And this was a major point also of that meeting that kept being brought up. And no, if you're going to take advantage of us, if you are going to use us, we have to be able to use you too.
Mm.
And some, there has to be an exchange of use, not just an exploitation of one. And that's my piece. Peace.
Wow. And that obviously is called trade. You trade. Okay, you don't take and nobody gets nothing back. But in situations like this, you have to have patience, because patience is what gets you through. And it was something, I mean, Minister Son One just brought up and breezed over quickly. I'll just reiterate it real quick, is that, and I say this humbly, let me say this humbly in that sense, but if it was not for our work, and I say our work, the Temple of Hip Hop's work, all of us, okay, this would not have been detected. And like Son One just said, they would have wrote up this proclamation, made it law, did their own little ceremonies, and now you come as a real card-carrying member of the culture, they're going to cite government law on you about your culture. And your ancestors ain't had nothing to do with the writing of that. Where's the body? Where is the group that watchdogs that? Where and who is that group that keeps an eye on stuff like that and holds the authority for the government to respond as well? That's only the Temple of Hip Hop. I say that humbly. But I say that truthfully. It's only us. And I say that with a burden on our backs, okay? My back for certain, but our backs. This is a burden. This is not something to brag about. Look at the work that we're doing. That point here. I mean, look at the work that we're doing. And this is what it means to be part of the Temple of Hip Hop, to do the work. This is not about a rap career. This is not about celebrity. This is not about being top 5 MC. This is not what that is. There's a place for that. This ain't that place. This is that place where you fully understand who you are, why you are, and where you are. You are hip hop. You are the beginning of a brand new civilization, brand new culture, brand new spiritual path. You know what, man? Let me take you back over here. I just want to read one thing from that 309. That 309, actually on 310, Son One stopped at paragraph 145. Let me just hit you with paragraph 146 real quick, because it's relevant. And yes, we can believe in what is true for us. And hip hop is what is true for us. It may not be true for anyone else. And that's real. Hip hop ain't real for everybody else. Others may find peace and prosperity in the strict observances of other faiths and the histories of their religions. and they are right to do so. But here, we are hip hop, and we are right to believe in ourselves. That's the part I wanted to read. We are right to believe in ourselves. There's nothing wrong with us believing in ourselves. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing. No, you can't. You can never say I'm wrong for believing in me. Okay? And you can never be wrong for believing in you. Never be wrong for, even if you're wrong, even if you say, like, you know, like clown like Adolf Hitler believed in himself. Okay, and he was crazy. Okay, but you can't fault him for not believing in himself. The Klansman believes in himself. Believes that what he's doing is right and real and this, that, and the other. Now, you could fault the, you know, the results of your beliefs are a detriment to my life in that way, but I can't disrespect the fact that you truly believe in what you believe in. You gotta have respect on the man or woman or person that believes in what they are about. The one you don't give respect to, or the one who doesn't garner respect, is the one who's always doubting, the one who don't know, the one who's confused, the one who is one Monday I'm this and Tuesday I'm that and Wednesday I'm something else. That person, we don't know who that is. We don't know who that is. And so if you don't know what a person is, you can't trust them. And if you can't trust the person, you can't respect them. If you can't respect the person, there's no love, okay, you know. So we're right to believe in ourselves. And we're right to read from our gospel that was built by not just me. I gathered the information. This is timeless knowledge. Timeless knowledge. I live my life by this. And I'm doing pretty well for myself, I must say. So let's get to the reading. 165, here we go. It's perform patience. Now, and also I'm gonna try to get through at least 3 of these. Patience, charity, and love. They kind of all go together, you'll see in the lesson. Perform patience. Practice expressing calm endurance, silent strength, and inner resolve. These lead to patience. Stop. That line is a highlight because that explains everything right there, okay? And not even the next part, just that first line, the very first line, okay? Practice expressing calm endurance. Focus on that for 1 minute. Calm endurance. That means to be calm while enduring something that may be unpleasant. To remain calm while enduring something that may be unpleasant. Think about that. Think about that for a minute. The strength that it takes to express calm endurance. Silent strength. Focus on these words. These are the key. If you can realize what these words mean, you'll develop different abilities within yourself. You'll have someplace else to go in your emotional state when things are going haywire. You don't have to go just to anger. You don't have to go just to sadness. You don't have to even go to happiness. You can go to silent strength. You can go to calm endurance. You could go to inner resolve. These lead to patience. This is not patience, but without calm endurance, silent strength, and inner resolve, it's hard to be patient. Be tolerant of others and their views and always be willing to wait. Whatever is yours by divine right. Within the spiritual life, there is very little need to rush or to be anxious. Simply ask and then wait in an expectant manner. We talked about expectancy a couple of lessons back, to expect it. And actually, when you walk the spiritual path, this is the point to walking the spiritual path, that when you walk the spiritual path and you live the principles, you expect the favor of God. You expect the ancestors to aid you in your walk. You expect it. Hold on one second. G. Simone just walked in the room in that sense. You know what? I have a shadow here, and I'm trying to realize what that shadow is. You see it? No. It's no. You can keep the light up. Yeah. It's fine. But no, you see this? You see this? This shadow here? Where is that? I was looking for where that was. I mean, maybe it's. Yeah. No, it's still there. It's sort of like a bar or something that I'm not seeing. Maybe the light's not high enough or something like that. I don't know. But it's the bar is. I guess I'm below bar. Yeah. See. Yeah. There you go. Keep going, if you can. Yeah. There we go. It's gone. Yeah. It was that I wasn't. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for being patient with me right now. I just had to get that shadow off of me. In fact, thank you for your patience, teaching in real time. So whatever is yours by divine right. And within the spiritual life, there is very little need to rush or to be anxious. Simply ask and then wait in an expectant manner. And like I said, we went over that. When you walk the spiritual life and you live the principles, you expect the favor of God. You expect the ancestors to walk with you. You expect miracles in your life because you're walking this path. It makes no sense to walk the spiritual path and get no spiritual results. That makes no sense. If you're walking a spiritual path, you should be getting spiritual results. Usually, what you do not receive is for your own good. That's a hard one, isn't it? Usually, what you do not receive is for your own good. And let me also add here, this is for those that walk the path. This is not for everyone. This does not apply to everybody. This is for those that walk the path, those who have committed their life to the higher knowledge of spiritual existence, spiritual reality. They've given themselves over to mystical experiences. If this is you, then this applies to you. If you ain't really serious about your spiritual practices, or you're still trying to see if, then this may not work for you. This may not really be applied to you. This is applied to those who are walking that path. This is what you can expect. Usually what you do not receive is for your own good. Here, patience is the ability to be still and allow opportunity to fall into your lap. Do not run after opportunity. Only position yourself to receive opportunities. Usually it is the righteous that remain still through the changes of the world in a strategic position, so that when the world unexpectedly changes again, opportunity falls into their lap. We've lived this one, okay? That's why I said this was lived, okay? You don't chase after money. Money chases after you, okay? You make your basket early and make a big basket because you expect a large return, okay? So, and keep in mind, the larger you make your basket, the bigger your expectancy. What do you expect? Remember that opportunity is not to be chased down. It is to be searched for. Opportunity is not to be hunted. It is granted. It is not taken. It is received. Hip-hoppers are encouraged to find strength in the things that they already have. Be patient. Even with ignorant, selfish people, be patient with them as well as with yourself and prepare for the fall of the ignorant. It is inevitable. Like, you ain't got to argue with people. Once you know that you're talking to ignorance, you really should close your mouth and not try to argue with ignorance. You argue with ignorance to try to cure the other person of their ignorance. But you trying to make a point of view, trying to make this person see your point, it's not gonna, they're ignorant. They're immature. And this is the harsh reality of it. I mean, this is the hard talk. Okay, this is hard talk. Okay, big up to the BBC for hard talk, But this is hard talk right here. Some people are ignorant and immature. And you don't have time to play games like they not. No. First, be patient with them. That's what you should be. Is patient with them and yourself. Put the patience on it. What is the patience again? Calm endurance, silent strength, inner resolve. Don't leave from within yourself. Somebody's in front of you talking stupidity. Don't leave from within you and join the stupidity. This is the true meaning of patience as a principle. Not just waiting, but reserving. Remember that opportunity is not to be chased down, it is to be searched. I'm reading this again. Opportunity is not to be hunted, it is granted. It is not taken, it is received. Hip-hoppers are encouraged to find strength in the things that they already have. Be patient, even with ignorant, selfish people. Be patient with them as well as with yourself, and prepare for the fall of the ignorant. It is inevitable. Sometimes the fall of the ignorant will temporarily hinder the rise of the hip-hopper. In this case, the attuned hip-hopper has already prepared for the inevitable fall of the ignorant through independence and a variety of divine performances, and rises while others are trapped under their own rubble. Remember, the divine performance protects you from the ignorance of others. In all things, perform patience. Even with difficult people, be patient. No matter how ignorant or inconsiderate people may appear to be, always remember that ultimately everyone is growing, learning, and developing according to their own level of consciousness. And if they are not, then they will not be around you much longer. Be patient. Some people will simply not see it your way. Be patient. You and they are always growing. Eventually, everyone sees the truth. However, everyone grows at their own pace. What is obvious to you today may not be so obvious to others. But if you stand in truth and in righteousness, but if you stand in truth and in righteous humility, they shall eventually see what you see. Be patient. Everyone arrives at the truth eventually. And that's the truth. Everyone arrives at the truth eventually. Finally, we must continue the practice of being patient with ourselves. Let us remain committed to our principles, performances, and disciplines, but let us not be too anxious to receive spiritual insight and power. All shall come in time. Let me say that one more time. Let us remain committed to our principles, performances, and disciplines, but let us not be too anxious to receive spiritual insight and power. All shall come in time. For we have seen for over 40 years that it does not matter how much meditation one does or how virtuous one may live, spiritual insight and power happen on their own in their own time. You simply must continue to practice until you are granted the results that you desire. Be patient and learn the art of waiting. The spiritual life is not the material life. It moves within its own time. When you are being delayed for some trivial reason, do not get upset or worried. Simply go with the flow. Go with the flow because your very steps are counted and guided by spiritual forces. Be patient. Be willing to wait. Practice performing patience while waiting in line. Practice patience with difficult people. Practice patience with your own spiritual development, with your career, with your children, with your parents. In all areas of life, learn how to apply the virtuous performance of patience. Many disasters have been avoided and many have come to see the light, by the correct use of patience. As the philosopher Carlyle once said, every noble work is at first impossible. Perform patience. Moving on to charity. Number 7, perform charity. Be of a giving nature. Be of service to the progression of life itself. Perform charity often, and do not concern yourself with whether your giving shall be returned to you. Give for the sake of giving. Give of your talent as freely as God has given it to you. I'll keep on bringing and singing into your ears. It's ringing and steaming, gleaming and dreaming, true MCing with meaning. Woo! I can do that freely. I do that for my friends. I know people pay big money to see me perform, but if you with me, oh, we getting it in. Okay, so at the end of the day, what are we talking with charity? At the beginning of the charity, what are we talking? Character. We talking a certain kind of character. Patient, now charitable. These go together. That's why we're reading them together. Patient, be willing to wait and practice waiting. So like somebody's saying, I'm gonna make you wait. They ain't got you. You got the gospel of hip hop. They say, I'm gonna make this person wait. You gonna say, this is a perfect time for me to practice patience. Let me get it, because I'm walking the path. So it don't matter what you're saying to me. It don't matter what you're trying to do to me. God is at the helm of this. And I don't see you. I see God. Therefore, let me practice this patience right now. You're denied on Monday. Be patient on Tuesday. You'll get what you need by Wednesday. So perform charity. In patience, this is another character. This is the character that goes with patience. Charity. Be of a giving nature. Be of service to the progression of life itself. That's how you can wait. Because it ain't about you, it's about life. I'm a servant of life. Perform charity often and do not concern yourself with whether your giving shall be returned to you. Give for the sake of giving. Give of your talent as freely as God has given it to you. Freely giving away samples of one's talent actually opens unexpected doors for the giver and for the receiver. Chris is the pharaoh, the bow and the arrow, the double, the barrel, gorilla apparel. It's coming to y'all soon. It's crazy. The more I give of my talent freely, the more I open doors for myself. I tell people all the time, they say, what should I do? I'm an MC. Tell me how to get on. Spit for free. Don't let money get in the way of you voicing your being. A lot of rappers say, I ain't spitting nothing until I get paid. Yo, when I get paid, that's when I get, and that's cool. That's a business model, no doubt. But there's another model, and that model is when you just normally somewhere, you're amongst strangers, for instance. Just amongst strangers. You can't break out into a whatever. You can't break out into, so it's an open mic night. You ain't down there at the open mic. A certain artist is coming to town, like KRS. And KRS always opens a cipher at the end of his shows. You ain't there. You see, this is how charity moves you forward. Because the person who says, I ain't giving that, I ain't saying my right, I ain't did that. Look at what you just did. You close yourself up and close yourself in. The one who says, where can I? Tell me where to spit. I'm spitting it right now. To whomever, wherever, I'm getting it off. That person is open and open enough to allow other people to say, I like that. I hear that. I want to pay for that. You got a tape, you got a CD, where can I SoundCloud something? Like, now because people heard you because of your charity. You're opening up other opportunities for more people to hear you, for more people to see you, and for your value to go up. But if you're not charitable, if you're not willing to give of yourself, you don't even get the riches you're holding out for. Think about that. Freely giving away samples of one's talent actually opens unexpected doors for the giver and for the receiver. Give of yourself. Give opportunity, give knowledge, give time, give money and other resources. Charity actually relieves human suffering. Be willing to forgive the debt of those who owe you. Through your own actions, be the example to society as to what charity looks like. Now this is a highlight here. Number 2. Yeah. 2 and 3 are to be highlighted. Let's highlight 2 and 3. I had a note here, but 2 and 3. We're gonna highlight 2 and 3, and here's why. Through your own actions, be the example to society as to what charity looks like. Do not attach, and let me say this. Let me read this one more time. Through your own actions, be the example to society as to what charity looks like. Do you realize that some people don't even know what charity looks like? Do you realize that some people were never given anything in their life? They've never received a gift. And most of the time, if you've never received a gift, you don't give a gift. It's not part of your mentality. You don't go to stores, shop for yourself, and say, let me pick up 2 items as gifts for whoever. Or just as like Simone does, when she's shopping, she picks up all types of stuff as gifts for strangers, people she don't even know. But you run into Simone, chances are you're going to get a gift. And that's what it is. So, but what the mentality that is charitable, okay, that mentality teaches other people what charity is. It's not enough to just give. The act of giving teaches society what giving looks like. It relieves the suffering in society. Because I know when I see somebody give to somebody like a homeless person or whatever, there's something in you that reaches for your pocket. Now, you may deny it and say, well, that's them. Okay, they're giving that, and we do that all the time. But you can't deny that when you see somebody giving or being charitable, that you yourself think about your level of charity. And you say, well, should I? Could I? At least the spiritually minded do. Spiritually minded sees a person on the ground hungry. We don't laugh at that person and tell them you should do better in your life. We'll split our sandwich with that person. That's charity, but there's a character that goes with that. Do not attach yourself to anything. All that you have should be able to be given away in a second's notice. These are all highlights, okay? This is such a powerful character. It works for me. It has worked for me in my life. All that you have should be able to be given away in a second's notice. All that you have. Imagine that. And I got some stuff I want to keep, okay? But here's the ultimate character. Really, nah. I can lose it all. Here you go. All that you have should be able to be given away in a second's notice. The one who gives never loses. The one who owns nothing cannot experience theft, loss, foreclosure, seizure, or confiscation. Can I hit you with that one more again? Okay, hit you with it one more again. All that you have should be able to be given away in a second's notice. The one who gives never loses. The one who owns nothing cannot experience theft, loss, foreclosure, seizure, or confiscation. You can't experience that because you're the giver. Through your own, charity also proves, this is a different character, okay? Charity also proves the wealth of an individual, even if that individual has little or no money. Only a wealthy mentality, even with little money, can freely give. And likewise, only a poor mentality, even with an abundance of money, has nothing to give. Do you see the knowledge here? Do you see the principle here? This is character building. And this is the organization of one's spiritual character. Do not attach yourself to anything. Nothing. Okay, don't attach yourself. Link your emotions and your physical body, and don't link. Try to be independent. Try to be disattached from the material world. Do not attach yourself to anything. All that you have should be able to be given away in a second's notice. The one who gives never loses. The one who owns nothing cannot experience theft, loss, foreclosure, seizure, or confiscation, because you're the giver. You're the giver. So if something breaks, you gave it. Okay? If something's taken from you, you gave it. If you lose something, you gave it. If someone robs you, they can't rob you. I'm giving it to you. You may think you're robbing me. You may think you're stealing, but my character says I would have given it to you anyway. This is a higher knowledge. This is a higher character of living. And only those walking the spiritual path can even get here, really, to be honest with you. You got to really be on your spirit to walk away from any material item in your in your environment, or things that you really own. And I say that I own stuff, okay? I got books worth I got expensive stuff, okay? But I always have to remind myself, if this whole house burnt down, okay, and everything in it, okay, what would happen then? Would the gun go to my head? Would I start drinking? What is it? Am I crying? No, of course I'd be hurt. I'd be like, damn, man, wow, my whole house? Wow. All my books, everything, my DVDs, everything's gone, okay? But here's why I can go here. It's not gone. I would have gave it all away anyway. If somebody came in here and really needed my library, I would have gave it to them. So what difference does it make if a tornado comes in and takes everything? A hurricane sweeps your house away. Floods come and destroy your whole situation. What difference does it make if you're not attached? That the hurt is the attachment. That's the hurt, that you are attached. Now, if you live your life where you have things that you know you can throw away, you know you can give away, you know they can be destroyed, then you live a life that doesn't accumulate all this stuff. You live a simple life, a light life. I don't have jewelry and all that stuff. No, I don't. All that, I don't, that's not something you're going to see on me, So, but there's a lifestyle, it's the lifestyle that I live. I don't worry about getting robbed when I go into the hood or whatever. I'm not walking around with diamonds on. Why would you walk around in a meat dress? All right, no, this the Lady Gaga, but I'm saying she can't wear that meat dress in a zoo next to the lions. Like you can wear that at the Grammys, okay? But you walk in that meat dress by the zoo, you will cause an uproar. So why would you walk in the hood with diamonds and Bentleys and all this stuff that the wolves can't afford and want to eat you? So it's like there's a certain kind of character that goes with the spiritual life that protects the spiritual person before the problem even comes up. I'm coming here on truth. That's it. That's my jewel, truth. If you want to rob me of my mind. Shoo. And that's intangible. Now, keep in mind, the government has figured out how to rob people's minds. They figured that one out. And that's the greatest theft, to rob a person of their mind. Woo! To rob a person of their soul. Woo! You don't want to be robbed of you don't want to be soulless. Or somebody has your soul somewhere else. Somebody got your mind somewhere else. You can't even have your own mind. Okay, you don't even have your own mind. Your mind is somewhere else, and you have to think about that always. Where else is my mind? Where else is my mind? Am I sure that my mind is my mind? Am I sure that I'm thinking the thoughts I want to think? Am I sure? Or am I going along with my emotional state, which is governed by television, radio, and the internet? Who's governing you? Do you govern you, or do your emotions govern you? Do you govern your emotions, or do your emotions govern you? Do you govern the TV, the internet, the radio, or does the TV, radio, and internet tell you what's real? This is just it. No judgment, no criticism. Levels of character. Levels of character. So highlight 2 and 3 of the gospel of charity in the gospel of hip hop. Perform charity, paragraphs 2 and 3. Let me hit you with 3 real quick, because 2 is what it is. Here's the next level of 2. 3. Charity also proves the wealth of an individual, even if that individual has little or no money. Boom. Money doesn't make you valuable. Can I say it again? Money does not make you valuable. Charity does. Money does not make you valuable. Money does not make you worth anything. Charity does. What you can give determines to the other person how wealthy you are. You can have $1 million in your pocket, sitting next to somebody with a quarter in their pocket. You are useless to them if you ain't letting off some of that money. You're useless. You could be rich all day, but if you ain't letting off, what? Why do I need to know you're rich? What? I need to know. Why I need to know you got a Bentley and diamonds? What? I'm not getting none of that. So what's the point? It's silliness again. Stupidness. This is what people are dealing with. They're silly, stupid stuff, and taking your mind to that level. No, now it's time to straighten our back up and clear our mind. Lighten the heart and open the eye. Okay? This is what we're dealing with. Charity also proves the wealth of an individual. Even if that individual has little or no money. Wealth is not money. Here's true wealth right here. Only a wealthy mentality, even with little money, can freely give. We ain't got nothing, okay? We both sitting here with $1. But if I give you 75 cents of my dollar and keep a quarter, I'm rich. I'm wealthy to you. We both got nothing, okay? But I got $1. I split the dollar with you 50-50. I'm wealthy to you. I've empowered you. I don't have to have $1 million to be charitable. I can have a 20 and break my man off with $5. I'm wealthy in this situation. In the reality of this situation, I'm wealthy. In the reality, and when you're at the supermarket and you give your change to the person behind you, you're wealthy. You're valuable. Because that's where the real value is. What can you do for someone else? Not what you do for yourself. That's not valuable. What can you do for somebody else? That determines your value in a society, in a group, in a community, in a family even. What can you do for your family members? How efficient are you to the rest of your family? This is your worth. This is your wealth. This is your value. Moving on to paragraph 4. If it is wealth, I'm sorry, I didn't finish that part. With little money can freely give. And likewise, only a poor mentality, even with an abundance of money, has nothing to give. And I don't have to elaborate on that. You already know who those people are. They have millions. They have nothing to give. That's a poor mentality. That's what we call poverty consciousness. You got millions and still can't manage to help nobody. Still can't manage. You only help it according to your emotions. But what really needs help, what really needs support, you can't bring yourself to support that. But yet you have millions, billions, this, that, and the other, and you know what we need, but you're not going to move a finger because it doesn't hit your emotions. You don't feel it. It's right, but you don't feel. This is how many million rich people act. This is how they act. That's how they act. Most of the richest people in the world are the most emotional. Moving only on what feels good and what doesn't feel good and what feel. So the truth is not even a part of being rich. The truth ain't got nothing to do with money. Here's the truth right here. If I have a sandwich and you hungry, split the sandwich with you, give you half the sandwich. I'm wealthy in the situation. I've proven value in the situation. I am charitable. Charity is the seat of wealth. Charity is the seat of opportunity. Charity, giving away, being able to give, that determines how wealthy you are. A person who can't give ain't got nothing to give. A person who can give has something to give, and that have something is the value, is the worth, is the wealth. The have something. You have nothing to give? That's a poverty consciousness. And that's what keeps people poor. You think to yourself, I have nothing. I have nothing to give. And that's all a state of mind, you know, because every human being has something to give, even if it's just a conversation, even if it's just a hug. You can say $1 for a hug. I think somebody actually did that. Charge $1 for a hug. You know, just sit, open up a stand, say, I'll hug you for $1. Put your dollar down and I'll hug you. A nice, warm hug. Rub your back type hug. I'll give it to you. Give me $1. You can do that. You can do that. And that's also the secret, the deeper part to hip hop about the elements of hip hop, at least breaking, MC, and graffiti, or DJ, even beatboxing. Okay? No hip hopper should ever say they have nothing to give. You can start rapping. You can start beatboxing. You can do your art. You always have, you can dance. Dance don't require nothing. Okay? Just move your body. So how you don't have nothing to give? You can stand up and dance. You can stand up and sing. You can rap. You have art skills. You can do the beatbox. And if you can't do any of that, learn how to do it. There's no reason to say I have nothing to give. That's a poverty consciousness. You can give conversation. So, 4 now. If it is wealth, which includes money, that you seek, it is very important that you act wealthy first through charity. Did you hear that? Here you go again. If it is wealth, which includes money, that you seek, it is very important that you act wealthy first through charity. Charity is the act of being wealthy before you're wealthy, or wealthy in terms of money, or rich. Seek to perform charity in public and in private. Charity raises your self-worth. Public charity sets a good example within your community, and private charity sets a good example before God. Find ways to perform charity, but also be careful not to make those who you are charitable toward dependent upon you. Give with the intention of relieving one's suffering. Sometimes a free gift can prolong one's suffering and or prevent one from learning a much needed lesson. So remember, as you seek to help and assist people, always remember that everyone is where they are for a reason. We have found that some people are exactly where they need to be in life, regardless of how impoverished and or dangerous their circumstances may seem to be. God is engaging us all. At times, we must walk and talk with a giving heart. At all times, we must walk and talk with a giving heart. Let me read this one more time. At all times, probably I have to say it 3 times, probably the Spirit is on me. At all times, we must walk and talk with a giving heart. But if a person is not willing to help himself, there is little that anyone can do for such an individual. Therefore, be wise in your giving. Give with the intention to truly help and empower. Sometimes the giving of nothing is the greatest gift of all. Perform your charity. Here's 8 now. Perform love. Because again, to be charitable and to be patient requires a character of love. Show your love. Be compassionate and caring. Give others the devotion that you expect from God. For our God is divine love, and this love is not blind. It is lust that is blind. Love is unconditional. It makes itself available to the loved. Love is patient. Did you hear that? Love is patient. Love suffers long. Love is kind. Love proves and empowers one's ability to teach and guide others. Allow God to manifest through you toward others. Allow God to manifest through you toward others. It is from God that our love comes, and it is from here that we correctly express our love. You correctly express your love from the consciousness of God. The character of God is the correct expression of love. You get a right love when your character matches God's character. Love all and hate none. But when all hate, love none. Did you hear that? Love all and hate none. But when all hate, love none. To truly love is to unite with the being of others. This is why you don't just throw your love around. To truly love is to unite with the being of others. And at the beginning of your spiritual understanding, it is important to guard your heart. For love is healthy and hate is disease. Love all who deserve your love and hate no one. For in love, you are truly protected and empowered. Now, this is a slight change in Western philosophy, because let me read this to you one more time. Love all who deserve your love and hate no one. That's a different line. That's a different line. Most people will say just love unconditionally. You should love everyone. The gospel doesn't say that. The gospel of hip hop says be a being of love. You be the being of love and care and compassion. You have a giving, compassionate, patient heart. That's for you. Okay? And when you are a loving being, all you see is love. Everybody you meet, you love them, you care for them. You can only give compassion to them because you are the loving being. Not whether they love or not whether they can even comprehend your love or not. That's irrelevant. What's relevant is, are you the loving being? And if you are the loving being centered in your God, now you give that out to everybody else because it's your being. It's who you are. It's not even like you're loving anybody. It's who you are. So anybody around you gonna get that love. They're gonna get that compassion. They're gonna get that charity. They're gonna get that patience. They're gonna get that because it's who you are. This is a slightly different thing from saying, I'm giving my love to you. Slightly different approach in that way. Love all who deserve your love. Too many times, spiritual people just let their love go on just turn the tap on. That's the end of it. Like a flowing stream. You loving people that hate you. You loving people that's dissing you. You loving people, and the Christian Bible teaches that. Love your enemies. You know what I'm saying? And there's science to that. There's a higher level of character to showing love to your enemies. But I'm giving you the deeper part. You don't love no enemy. Okay? You kill them. Okay? Straight up and down. That's hip hop. Okay? But if you are a loving being and the enemy comes around, the enemy's gonna get loved. The enemy gonna get loved because you are a loving being. It's not love your enemies, do good to those that harm you. No, that's a mistranslation. Straight up. No, you can't even live that life. What you live is, I am the being of light and love myself. My enemies are right around here. I'm going to love them. Why? Because that's all I can do. I can't hate them because I'm not a being of hate. So I kill in love. Ah! You get punched in your face peacefully. No doubt. And that has occurred too, as well. Let me just keep it really real with you. Continuing on. So I just want to say that love all who deserve your love and hate no one. Hate is just not where we're at. Okay, hate is unnecessary. Unnecessary. Okay, it's like candy. It's just unnecessary. You eat it, what does it do for you? Well, you get that sweet at the beginning. So that's what hate does for you. You get that surge of hate in the beginning. But afterwards, it's you that feel horrible. Afterwards, it's you the stomach hurting. Afterwards, it's you that got to deal with whatever. You know, it's you. Hate does the same thing. Hate. It's you that hurts after. It's you that gets hurt. It doesn't make love. That protects, that heals, that develops and grows. Love. So why leave that? For in love, you are truly protected and empowered. That's just the truth. The attuned hip hopper knows that God is the headliner in every arena of life. We talked about that at the beginning of the Divine Performance. And that it is God's performance that is sure to follow the hip hopper's opening act of true love. Be the love to those that truly deserve it. And that's real. Love those that deserve your love. It's not that you don't love those that don't deserve your love, but you're a loving being, so they're going to get loved anyway. But when you have to direct your love, direct it to those that deserve it. Love is a currency. It's a spiritual currency. When you're loved, you get healthy. So give your love. Somebody speaking ill of you and disrespecting you and slandering your name or lie, you don't love that, because you're going to give energy to something that's going to harm you. That's against the law of nature, self-preservation. You got to take care of yourself. You got to develop yourself. You got to protect yourself. You got to clean yourself. You have to feed yourself. You have to, for yourself, that's the laws of nature. Okay, so now you don't invite something to you that's going to contradict your natural law. No. Somebody talking that bullshit, you have two choices: walk away or walk up on. Okay, there's the two choices: walk away or step two. Don't be no coward. This is real hip hop we talking right now. You will get punched in your face. This is a different kind of spirituality. And as a matter of fact, as I'm thinking about it, let me take you to the Shogun, the Japanese Shogun, who has a philosophy that says, if I kill you with emotion, I am disgraced and dishonored. Because no emotion should be in this. I shouldn't be hating. The sword should not come out on hate, on anger, or even on fear. The sword does not come out. The Shogun is slicing your head off, completely calm, inner resolve, being of love. What happened? Inner resolve, being of love, was an invader came in and tried to move the being of love from the center of love. The being of love said, that's not going to happen. I love you. The other person says, I'm going to kill you. The being of love says, but I love you. Whap! Off with your head. And I will honor your death with a burial. I will take the time to bury and put your head next to your body. But it's done with calm. It's done with love. We laugh afterwards and we pour wine. And we celebrate your death. That's how it used to be. That's ancient African. That's how it used to be. There's no anger. This 1 + 1 = 2. You're coming to steal from me. I will give you here, take it. This is what the Africans did. This is what Native Americans did. Okay, Columbus came in. They said, take it all. We don't what? we are already wealthy unto ourselves. Take the land, take the gold. If this is what you want, go ahead and take it. Then they start trying to take women and children. Hold on, wait a minute. I told you could have the gold. I told you, here's your portion of the land. Okay, now you want my wife and my child? No, the bow and the arrow come out now. Now, see, now I got to pull a machete now. Now we got this thing called scalping. Okay, now we doing that. And when you were scalp, the shaman, remember people like Geronimo? Remember Geronimo? Look him up. Warrior, this. Geronimo was no warrior. Geronimo was a priest. Geronimo was the priest of his tribe, of his nation. And his mother was a seer, a priestess. This is who these people really were. And he outsmarted the United States government. His war taxes was so crazy. Okay, that's why they speak of his name with high respect to this day. Geronimo. When you charge it, you say, Geronimo! Because you call in the spirit of this shaman, this ancient Indian shaman that defeated the entire United States government. He gave himself up. They never caught him. He gave up. He gave himself. And so when you remember these ways, spirituality becomes more real for you because you're learning it from the original source. There's no symbol here. We don't need a cross or a Star of David or a crescent moon or a bunny rabbit or a bear or all these symbols, eagles and fish and all that. All of that came about because these people robbed the original hip hopians. The only name we have for these people, the people we originally come from. Okay? Our people, the first people, where we come from, they got robbed first. They were the scientists. They were the agriculturalists. They were the shaman priests. They don't fight. They don't have that. They'll chop your head off, but it's in love. They'll poke you, but it's in peace. Now the savage beast is coming to eat men, women, and children. No honor, no nothing. That's how the shaman priest got ran off. And some were killed. And some enslaved. But most of the shaman priests knew what was coming ahead of time and left. Tried to warn their community, and the community wouldn't listen. And so shaman priests took their families and left. It's very hard to catch a shaman. It's very hard to catch the priesthood. You catch these other dudes that laugh at the priesthood, that say, we're too preachy. and who, ain't nobody, like you say, I laugh all the time, he'll say, can't nobody judge me, only God can judge me. And so I say, well, here I am. Here I am, right here. Because God walks with me, straight up. There's no doubt in my mind. God's with me right now. So be careful what you say to KRS. Only God can judge me. You might fall dead right there. Right there. Okay? Play games if you like. But when you walk the path for real, you see the real results. And so your mouth is shut because there's a thing called fear of God. Most people don't understand what that means. Why are you fearing God? God is stupid, immature, kindergarten. The fear of God is the reverence for God. That God could stop your heart right now. I'm talking this piece right now. Stop your heart. You better get on your knees. You better act like there's a higher intelligence, a supreme intelligence that makes the earth go around and the moon come up. You better act like there's a law in this universe, because these people out here trying to rely on science, they about to get woke up so ridiculously, okay? So stupidly, they about to get woke up. And mark my words here on this situation. We're speaking from love, okay? From love. When there's so much hate in the world, love has to balance that. It's love that balances the world, not hate. Hate is the imbalance. And when there's too much of that, like what's going on, you have love that has to come in. And love, they say tough love comes in and says, I got to do this because I love you. I got to do this because I care about you. I want you to make it. I want you to succeed. So I'm going to whip your ass right now. And this is it. Nature does it just like this, okay? And when you realize the lesson, You realize the love, and everything goes away and everything heals again. And you back in good graces with your mother. Wow. And everything goes away. But you're going to keep fighting. You're going to keep fighting in stubbornness and arrogance and ignorance and immaturity. You're going to keep fighting nature. You're going to keep fighting God. You're going to keep fighting the universe. Okay, good luck. The rest of us are trying to follow the laws so that we may live more prosperously and more accurately. So here's the law. Here's the law. Be the love to those that truly deserve it. See the holiness in those people, even when they cannot see it in themselves. Deal with people on a holy level always. Always. It's always the right thing to do. Their divinity is the truth of their being. Your divinity is the truth of your being. Anger, sadness, depression, argument, that's not the truth of anyone's being. It's not the truth of your being. Divinity is the truth of your being. Therefore, let us practice speaking only to the divine nature of people, such as their true essence. But do not live in denial of those who do not truly love you. Even when you are cursed out and or disrespected, remain calm and centered, knowing that such responses are not the truth of anyone's being. Such responses are indeed temporary. I want you to highlight 4 and 5. Let me clear my glasses too. Something got on here. 4 and 5. We're going to highlight 4 and 5. This is another part of that character. This is another part of character. Okay, you got. What did I just do? Actually, made them more foggy. This is the next piece here to character. It's the next part of the character, and what we're going to do is we're going to highlight 4 and yep. It's 4, 5, and 6. It's 4, 5, and 6. This is the whole gist of this particular performed love in the divine performance. This is the gist of it right here. Let me hit you with this right now. Their divinity, meaning the person in front of you acting crazy, okay? Their divinity is the truth of their being. Therefore, let us practice speaking only to the divine nature of people, such as their true essence. But do not live in denial of those who do not truly love you. People, you got to know when people don't really love you. You got to know that. Even when you are cursed out and or disrespected, remain calm and centered. You can just underline that too. Knowing that such responses are not the truth of anyone's being. This is how you stay calm. Because the person's going to wild out, then come back later and say, I'm sorry. Truth of anyone's being, okay? This is not the truth of anyone's being. Such responses are indeed temporary. This is 5 now. This is why the immature always regret what they say and do, and they regret what they say and do, and often wind up apologizing for it. Wait for the apology, because those who return to their right mind and seek your pardon of their immaturity, deserve your love and understanding. They deserve your love and your understanding, especially if they come back and say, I was wrong. I was bugging. They deserve your love. They deserve your wealth, they deserve your love. Because this person is struggling with themselves. They're not struggling with you. They're struggling with themselves. And if you get caught up in what they're going through, you can't even help them. You have to remain centered. What is it here? It said, centered. Remain, even when you're cursed out and disrespected, remain calm and centered. And how do you remain calm and centered while somebody's disrespecting you? You know that that's not their real state. They angry or upset about something. Even if they upset about you, just say, I'm sorry, and I won't do that again. But if you're trying to posture and you think you're right, and you think, then you're not seeking peace. You don't have the character that just wants peace. You want to prove your point over their point. And they're wrong for looking at you wrong. And you're wrong because they're wrong. And everybody's wrong. But you notice it in any argument. If you stop for a minute and say, well, how do you want to resolve this? How do you want to resolve it? Like, I'm open for anything. That kills the argument. Now, if the person keeps arguing, you don't say anything. Just sure. Because they're the ones that are making themselves immature. They're the ones making themselves silly. They're the ones making themselves unholy, unspiritual. They're making themselves that. You should not get caught up in it. Don't get caught up in that. Remain centered and calm. Inner resolve. In fact, you use that moment to do all of this. How else are you supposed to do it if the person's not in front of your face? Okay, when a person is in front of your face, that's when you start practicing it. Because if you remain calm in the midst of such temporary fits of rage and ignorance and immaturity or sadness, eventually you will see those angered, ignorant, immature, depressed people return to their true state of peace, awareness, and normalcy. And if they truly respect you, even love you, they will apologize, not for their own well-being, but for yours. Underline that whole piece, 4, 5, and 6. It'll help you in life. It'll help you in life. Adopt this character. It will breeze you through life. 7. Anger and sadness are not normal for any human being. Therefore, such states are always temporary. Joy is normal. Peace is normal. Love is normal. This is what's normal. The opposite of this is abnormal. Do you understand that? The opposite of joy, peace, love is what's abnormal. Joy is normal. Peace is normal. Love is normal. Hate is abnormal. How you get there? At all times, perform with love. Search your heart for the people you love most and love them. Look at the people you love and say with your inner voice, I love you. Make this a habit. Despite the emphasis others may place upon doing things strictly for payment, this is another character now. Despite the emphasis others may place upon doing things strictly for payment, in whatever you do, perform it with love. If you hate or dislike what you do, stop doing it. If you dislike or hate what you do, even if you are paid for it, ultimately the result of your compensation will not be fulfilling. In fact, it will only depress you. Therefore, do what you love to do. And do not be afraid to do whatever it is that you love to do. Find time for it. Although forgotten, hip-hop was created out of love. Early hip-hoppers performed their elements out of love. And I hear rappers sometimes, a couple of rappers I hear sometimes, love, why we doing this for the love? I'm doing it for the money. And then they say to others, you ain't even doing it for the love. You doing it for the money, ain't you? And they don't realize that when you do it for the love, you get the money. But when you do it for the money, you don't get no love. Oh! And these people are living that out right now. Okay, they can't walk down the street. Don't get it twisted. Okay, all them dudes talking money, 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 and all that. You don't walk down. You can't walk down the street. You got security because of your gab. Your gab. Okay, you ain't like me who just lands anywhere. Okay, and my crew assembles anywhere in the world. We land hood, the wildest places we be at. Somebody come out the woodwork. Hey, yo, ain't you K? Ain't you? Yo, it's chaos. Now it's some whole other thing. Okay? No, that's not because of celebrity. Because the hood robs celebrities. Okay? So don't get it twisted. Ain't no celebrity in the hood. It's only respect. That's what's in the hood. Respect and honor. And if you ain't walking with respect and honor, don't go to the hood. Don't be there in them places where this is what matters. Don't go to prison then where respect and honor matters. See, so it's like, how do you want to live your life? And that's the point to this whole lesson, this whole piece that we pulling out right now. This is what this is. Although forgotten, hip hop was created out of love. Don't get it twisted. We did this for the love. We loved our culture. We loved who we were. We loved each other. Okay? And we still love each other. Okay? And that's how this whole thing started. It didn't start with no money. It started with the love. And don't get it twisted. Early hip hoppers performed their elements out of love. We love to do this and be this. With or without payment, early hip hoppers loved hip hop. And you know what? Let's highlight that, because I'm gonna bring that back up to you later. Let me read it again. I'm highlighting 11. This is 11, the last paragraph and the conclusion of our reading today. Although forgotten, hip-hop was created out of love. Early hip-hoppers performed their elements out of love. With or without payment, early hip-hoppers loved hip-hop. With all tasks and people, show love. With all tasks and people, love it. Put the love in it. So this concludes our reading today of the Gospel of Hip Hop. And what I'm trying to impress upon you today is the character of the spiritual master, the character of the teacher, the character of the street philosopher, the sage. This is the character. The character is one of charity, of patience, and of love. That these go together. Patience, charity, love. They go together. And in this togetherness, because really the whole divine performance is one character. But these three going together, charity, patience, charity, and love. These are the protections on your life. That's what I want to emphasize today. That these are what protect you. That's why you do that. Love protects you. A character of love protects you from all that stupidness. A character that gives and is charitable protects you from all that stupidness. A patient character, one willing to wait, protects you from all that stupidness. And look at all the stupidness that comes with each one of these. Look at the opposite of patience. Now you anxious, anxiety, you popping pills. Ah! Why? Because you don't have patience? Learn patience. You hating. Why are you hating? Because you don't have the love? You don't know how to love. Well, we're teaching today how to love. How to love. Not just love, but how to love. Okay? And of course, the charity. To give somebody anything is to care about them. Care is love, compassion. They go together. They're all intertwined together. And that's what I want to point out. So, if you got that lesson, you have swallowed another week of the Temple of Hip Hop. It's a short lesson too today, by the way. That was the lesson. Next week, we gather again. For those that are here on the East Coast of the United States with me, we join at 12 o'clock. Others that are listening at other times, I thank you for your participation here. We're building a nation here. We're building a culture. And we're doing it without military means. We're doing this not in the way other nations and cultures were built. We're doing this on a higher level. This is a bloodless revolution, is what they would call this. A bloodless revolution. Okay? This is revelation. Revolution through revelation. Okay? We're revelationaries. And that's what the Temple of Hip Hop is about. And that's what these teachings are about. You take them into your own personal life, and hopefully they help you, they aid you in your own personal life. But ultimately, if we don't know these principles, we can't be a community. We can't be a unit. We can't be a nation. And that's the point to learning this, to learn the conduct of the nation, to learn the conduct of the community, to learn the conduct of the culture. And so that's where we are with this. So again, I thank you for your time. This is the Gospel of Hip Hop. If you don't have a copy of this, you can always go to Amazon. I'm out. I need to re-up on my Gospels. You guys called up and took them all. But we're going to re-up as well on the Gospel of Hip Hop. And I say that to say that you should be able to go to KRS-ONE.com and get yourself a copy of this Gospel of Hip Hop. This is what we study from. Make sure you have a copy of this. In addition, you can always go to Amazon and other places where books are sold as well. Get yourself a copy of the Gospel. You can ask people to borrow their Gospel as well. Borrow their Gospel and get into it. Soon, after this year, probably in 2022, we will have the Gospel of Hip Hop transcribed onto the screen. Like, you'll be able to read it off the internet in that sense. Of course, we urge that you continue to purchase the book, but that's not as important as you getting the knowledge. So the point is for you to get the knowledge. So we're going to put it up on one of our websites, probably all of them, even the Temple. So there's no excuse. You can go right to whatever it is and read the book even for free. The reason you want to purchase the book is because you want that autographed hardcover copy. That's why you want to purchase the book. But the knowledge is what's most important, and that's free. We will organize ourselves to be able to deliver that knowledge to whoever needs to hear it, the Gospel of Hip Hop. Whoever needs to hear it in our community. But we're not there yet. So you got to purchase the book if you want to be a part of this study. So that's why I urge that, and that's what it is. So that's it. Son One, take us out. I'm going to quickly run to the bathroom, but I am still on the call, and I thank everyone for their participation this week. We are the Temple of Hip Hop. I am KRS-ONE. G. Simone is in the room, and there is Minister Son One.
Peace and much love, teacher. Thank you again. It definitely hit me this week of how privileged we are to be a part of these classes. Like, this is it's one thing to read the gospel by yourself, but to actually have you to point out why, and or specifically how you said no, or 4, 5, and 6 is particularly the gist of that performance itself. That's what really sparked in my head. It was like, you wouldn't get that without you. Wow. And so I say thank you, I'm sure, for everybody who's here. And what
let me break in because some people probably have not heard me say this. So I'll say this in terms of that. Don't thank me for my responsibility. I say to the temple all of the time, I am the lowest member of the Temple of Hip Hop. I am the least important member of the temple. I am the teacher who is trying to create students that are better than him. And so I am hoping that you guys rise above anything that I am doing or saying. I'm the least. Don't thank me for my responsibility. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm going to run to the bathroom.
No, see, God didn't agree with that. You froze on the screen when you said it. One thing that kept going through my mind as our teacher was talking was the part of the gospel that says, how will you know that essentially you're a part of our culture or hip hop's nation? And a clear indication of how you know is the love and the care that you feel when such an idea is presented to you. and of hip hop. And that's where you have to deal within yourself to essentially know yourself, know thyself, know who you are, and be proud of who you are. That's where TEACHA continued earlier. Again, there should be some type of pride in being who you are. My lighting's all types of crazy. I'm gonna do this. There we go. That's a little better. You should know within yourself why you're here, and I believe that you guys that are here faithfully, every week there's almost a good 70 that seem to be here continuously and are getting really an experience that is invaluable, or incredibly valuable, or credibly valuable, should I say? That this is an amazing time, and because I think historically, historically, I always think about the future and what they're going to see, looking back on these, and I can almost put myself in their position to feel as though, no, I wish I was there. And their spirits, or you all should know, your spirit is with us, and this is what brings us to do what we're doing every week. This is why we're faithfully here to make sure that this occurs, so that it hopefully doesn't get lost, and that the voice that speaks is hip hop's voice for hip hop's culture, hip hop's spirituality, hip hop's lifestyle. That essentially this character, the divine performance, is our definition of ourself. And so as we adopt this character and show the character that is prescribed for anyone to come in the future and to follow, to know that, no, this is why TEACHA says that our gospel of hip hop is essentially what you can hold us to. That those of us who are a part of the temple of hip hop, study the gospel of hip hop, live the teachings of the gospel of hip hop, that this is our standard. And if ever we're going against this, that then something can be said, or as to the fact that we're not really being real hip hop. And again, this is our interpretation of what real hip hop really is. Others may have their own interpretation and conclusions they've come to about hip hop, and that would be, or again, like what was pointed out earlier, that would be respectively right for them. This is respectively right for us. And again, not to hold ourselves above somebody else, but no, feel the pride, feel the love of the fact that we are blessed beyond blessings, straight up and down, to have this direction. Something where TEACHA was speaking earlier about what's essentially making our thoughts, and do you control your mind? Is what you're living truly real for you, or is it being designated You could look at a lot of things and essentially put that to it as well. I would say a lot of, if you took a lot of religious teachings away, what would you really know about spiritual life and spiritual being? And really, to me, I would say then you should start there, because it's been brought to my attention that really, well, before internet, before radio, before television, there were these books, and they essentially structured people's lives and entire lifetimes, and for thousands of years, which to me is incredible, that certain things that really just can't be proven, not to harp on it, but because we've done the studies of angels and demons and devils and things of that sort, without those books, you would never know or have no knowledge of such a being existing. And you can imagine that there are some indigenous tribes somewhere throughout this earth that has absolutely no idea about a devil, an angel, or a demon in that sense, and are living with nature, are living very likely with their perception of what God is, and that's all that they know. And so to me, this is where teacher was like, no, you have to have an empty cup. Start there to know that, for one, the knowledge that you've been given in life should be attained with a certain trust. And we know from the education that we've received, at least those of us in America, that we can't trust those histories. And why can't we trust those histories? Because of who gave it to us. And not just because of who gave it to us, but we also know that it's not based on fact. And it so happens to come from the people that we also do not trust. So when you put all of these things together, what I'd like to say is that I hope that you trust this knowledge, because that's really the only way that it's ever going to work for you. And to me, that's one of the most important things about the gospel of hip hop is, does it work for you? Is it in real time? Is it really fulfilling your spiritual needs? Because that's what you come to spirituality for, to fulfill. It doesn't do that, then you should leave it alone. And I don't believe, or clearly for the fact that you guys are here every week, I'd imagine that no, it is working. It's giving you what you need. And then we just get right back to the point of why you should take it just that much more seriously. Because it's working, it makes sense, and it's hip hop speaking for hip hop, to hip hop, from hip hop's actual life experiences, not something that's or that this didn't come out of nowhere, or as teacher said earlier, he compiled all this, and not necessarily even just from himself, but a lot of it is himself, but also clearly you don't just go through life just taking your own advice. You have elders, you have other people, even friends, loved ones that are going through things in which you experience things and are able to um, decipher knowledge out of certain situations, kind of like where it talks about no matter whatever you're watching, whatever you're listening to, take a lesson out of that. Find the lesson where there appears to be none. This is what makes it real. This is where, again, as TEACHA pointed out, living that part in the love, it makes life easier. Sometimes I know a lot of you out there are going through different things in different times where you're wondering, or you're looking at how young you are, you're like, wow, I got to go through an entire life of this. Like these are the constant things that are just going to keep coming. Well, when you can have a certain disattachment, or even just be mindful of what is truly occurring, to be able to say when someone is coming at you disrespectfully that, no, you don't really mean that, and I'm just going to remain still and be quiet and let you get that off, because I know you're coming back. I know you're going to apologize. I know that what you're doing is not the essence of you, because divinity is the essence of you. If you are here within the divine, it is because you are divine, and you have the same opportunities like every other divine person, which is to attain your rightful state of divinity. Knowing that and being able to be in situations like that, whether dealing with someone that you love or dealing with a stranger, these are life tools. And specifically for those living the hip hop lifestyle. And I promise you, the return of being able to execute this in real time, again, it's not something to just be thought of. It is to have the actual experience of, and then to put these practices to use. The universe has put these teachings in front of us to then prepare us to experience them in real time. So know and understand, you will be faced with everything that you're reading, and you will be put to that test. And if, unfortunately, if for whatever reason you don't pass that test, it is going to come back, and it's going to keep coming back. I know I went through a time in my life where I wasn't necessarily so patient, and I knew that I wasn't being so patient, and that I needed to be more patient. And the more that I kept being faced with opportunities to perform patience and didn't perform patience, I kept reminding myself, man, if I could have just been patient, and then eventually is like, oh, okay, come now. Or I see where I'm in right now. Just be patient. Wait. Everything is going to be okay. The divine is in control. I'm not necessarily in control. I didn't create this situation. I'm being led into this creation or situation. Teacher reminded me on the phone, and I'll end with this. Teacher reminded me on the phone the other day that we don't lead God, we follow God. God is the lead, and we follow that. So with that, I hope you all have a wonderful week this week. Use the opportunities within this week to put this divine performance to use for real in your actual life. For one, so that uh, that this is no BS that we're teaching here. This is real. This is real life for the real hip hop. Peace and much love to you.
When I was young, I was taught to believe in God. And I grew up with a belief in God, that there was an intelligence that governed my life, that I could not see, that was vast and beyond my human understanding, and it was comforting. As I got older, I began to realize that beyond believing in God, I would have to perceive in God. Beyond believing in God, I'd have to perceive in God, meaning, now that I believe that there is a God, I have to walk, talk, and act like that God. A little different from believing in God and from a distance. God is there, I'm here, and I believe that you are there. As I got older, I began to say, you know what, you're not even over there, you're way up in here. So to really show you respect, God, to really acknowledge your presence, I gotta act like you. I gotta allow you to come through me. I have to really begin to let go of what I believe you are and let you show me who you are. And so I began to perceive in God. And that means I began to look through a single eye, not just my two eyes here, which is belief in God. I began to perceive God through a single vision. And that single vision is I had to act God out. What would God do in this situation, in that situation, in this situation? I had to act that out. When I began to act God out, a certain power came over me. In my little world of rap and MCing, when I began to act like God, oh man, I'm rocking parties. Any battles that I'm dealing with, I'm slapping MCs up. I'm moving through the world with power. That power was addictive. And I wanted more of it and more of it. I wanted to drink more of this power of God, this idea of perceiving God. And I don't need money. Money comes to me. I don't need health. I drink poison and I'm still alive. I don't need, suddenly I'm not afraid anymore because God is with me, because I believe that I perceive that there's no more me. There is only God. And now I have a power, and that power became addictive. And that addictiveness made me drink more of God. In a nutshell, or in a sentence, I realized that, and it makes me chuckle, because I realized that God is the air that I breathe, that I'm not even responsible for my own consciousness, my own sense of being aware. I'm not responsible for that. This substance, this thing right here, this, whatever this is, this right here, we think it's air. But I realized that if I stop, close my nose and mouth for 4 minutes, if I'm separated from this substance for 4 minutes, my heart don't stop. My brain don't even stop. My body functions don't stop. The first thing I lose is consciousness. I pass out. I can no longer stay aware. So I started to say, well, wait a minute. I'm not just breathing in air. I'm breathing in consciousness. I'm inhaling and exhaling God itself. And this air is conscious. That linked me up with quantum physics, where they got the new string theory and how strings are vibrating in certain ways and gives you air, or gives you a tree, or gives you a human being. That everything is conscious. Not just the life that I have, but the clothes that I'm wearing, the air, everything is conscious on, is vibrating. It has a point of view. So I began to see God as everything. Everything is God. And in me and everything. So I said, wow, what a way to live. Everything is God. I'm everything. There's no limitations. Let me keep breathing. Let me just keep breathing and just keep breathing and taking in what the conscious universe is trying to tell me, what it's trying to give me. And every time I say that me, I limit myself because it isn't me, it's it. And I'm it, and it is me, and I'm not even me. And it's just, and it goes on, and I suddenly realized that what I believe to be God is simply me with skin. I realized that God is, that's it. That God is, that's it. Now, anything you put after is the manifestation of the world, but God is just, it's just, that's it. And there's love in that. It's not even that God loves us, it's that God loves itself. The universe loves itself, and we are part of it. We're part of that. We're in it. It's just, we're something that the universe is doing. Like right now, as I speak to you, there's no you, there's no me. The universe wanted to have this conversation, and so it's talking to itself in its own head. Sort of like the way you would sit down, or we would sit down and think, wow, I want to go to the store, and I want to get some bread and milk and cheese. Whatever that is in our mind, like when we start thinking, I want bread, milk, cheese, I want to go to this, we're having thoughts in our mind. There's things shooting back and forth in our own mind. Well, that's what the universe is doing with us right now. It's saying there needs to be a documentary that talks about a variety of social issues. And you know what? This person is the perfect person to do that. And this guy here is the perfect person to do that. And by the way, the chair they're in is the perfect chair to sit in. The building they're in is the building they're gonna do it in. This camera is the camera because it's all the universe. It's all happening now. This is what it is. So I started to walk through life with that. Perfect timing. When I'm late for places, it's not late. This is when I'm supposed to be here. If I'm too early, this is when I'm supposed to be here. If I'm sick, I'm not sick. This is a part of the journey. This is it. Why get worried about anything when you know this is part of the journey? This is just what it is. And you notice that when you let go and just say, you know what, I don't even care what happens because I'm just part of this whole thing, you get healthier. You're less fearful, less worried. Your wealth, and meaning your money, your finances are more in order. Things are coming to you. You just say, look, I'm just going to be me, and I'm not afraid to be me. And I'm just going to be me, and I'm just going to speak me and be me, and whatever the consequences of it is, that is what it is, because even the consequences is part of me, and that's who I am. And so for me, that became God. And I thank you, God, for even speaking of yourself through this.